In fact, we have a 2x is negative 12. Doesn't that look like what we did?
Yeah.
So when I say to you, for the typical problem, translate this value first, now this is something you can do. You're home free. How do you undo multiplying 2 with the number x? What did you do over here? Divided by the number that was doing the multiplying. To both sides. It's the value 2. 2's cancel. And now you have your x equal to, what's negative 12 divided by 2? It's negative 6. So this is why I say to you, in order to solve the typical problem, you needed to know how to do those other simpler problems first. Okay, so you're not going to solve the typical without knowing how to solve this other stuff. Yeah, we're going to do some more typical. You guys okay with this? Is that easy? Well, now you got to do, 2 things now, but you do them one at a time. Okay? Okay. Well, let's give you some typical problems. And then what happens when you get typical problems? What happens after you're able to do the typical problems?
Yeah, non-typical.
Well, you get a little more complicated problems to solve. Okay, so you increase the level of, sophistication. And you guys know why you have to do that? Enjoy it now, because you guys know what happens later.
It's harder.
Well, I'm showing it gets harder. We're showing you really the tools that you guys need to start to solve those dreaded what? What's the dirtiest word in math? It's not fractions.
Statistics. Word problems.
Word problems. I say word problems, and some of you guys are already sweating. Okay. In my mind, to some degree, all of this algebra is designed to help you solve word problems, because those are the problems that you guys will see in some of those other courses that you take. Like, for instance, chemistry. Anybody here have to take chemistry? You guys know? Why do you have to take chemistry?
I'm a major
Forensics? What is your major? Sorry.
forensics.
Forensics major. You got to take chemistry? Do you guys know that you have to take chemistry for a lot of your courses? And what kind of problems you guys see in chemistry? Mixture problems. Chemistry. So we're going to work with some mixture problems. Okay. Biology. You got to be able to do some conversion. Physical science, you got to be able to do conversion. So we're going to look at all those things and how it all fits. But in my mind, really, the role and the purpose of this beginning algebra course for a lot of you is to be able to get you to be more successful in those other courses. Those other GE courses you have to take for your majors. So you can't just close your eyes when it comes to word problems and mixture problems, because that'll affect you elsewhere. It comes to conversion problems, that'll affect you elsewhere. Yeah. So in my mind, I think really what we're doing is preparing you to be successful there with those, which is why you have to take algebra. So you got to think in a way that's algebraic, I guess. And what I'm focusing here initially is using the logic to solve equations. It's almost like just working on the mechanics of what you have to do. At this point, it's just mechanics. So let's see, how would you do something like this? Negative 4x plus 6 is 24. Let's solve this typical equation.
Translate 6.
Okay, good. You already know. What are you going to do first?
Translate 6.
Translate your 6. Good. You already know that. Fine. Okay.
So it's 24 minus 6.
Well, you get on the left is negative 4x, right? On the right is 24. We didn't move it. So 6 is now on the right, but what's it signed?
Negative.
Negative 6. And then you have negative 4x becomes, what's 24 minus 6? What is it?
18.
It's 18. You guys okay with that? Okay, you guys okay with this?
Yes.
Okay. What do you do now?
Divide.
Divide both sides by the negative 4. Why do you do that?
Because you must isolate x.
We're trying to get x by itself. You're right. And the negative 4 is being multiplied to it. You're going to undo multiplication by using the division. It's being multiplied by negative 4. You divide both sides by negative 4. So what happens with these values? Cancel. And you get x equals. Well, let's think about this. Positive divided by a negative. Is that a positive number or is that a negative number? It's a negative number. So I put my negative sign here already off the bat. See that negative? I put it at the same level as my division sign. Okay? And now what I do is I look at my fraction, and what do I do with all my fractions? Reduce them. How do I reduce them? Factor trees and the cancellation property. So, okay, x then becomes negative. Let's see. You guys know what 18 is? It's 2 times 3 times 3, or yes, 3 times 3 times 2. Okay. What is 4? 2 times 2. Okay. You guys okay with that? And then what happens? Cancel your 2's. Can I get rid of a 3? No. I circle what's left personally because it's very hard to see sometimes. You get x is negative 9 over 2. This is reduced to lowest terms. You're done. You don't have to put negative 4.5. You don't have to put, what? Negative 4 and 1/2. It's over. Okay, this is done. You guys okay with this? You sure? Okay, let me give you another example before I give you a set to work on yourself. What if they gave you this and said, okay, 2 minus 5x is maybe negative 8. I still claim that this is a typical problem. Okay? You guys know why it's typical? Well, you got what? You got a couple of things happening on the left side. You got this multiplication by the 5, or the negative 5, however you want to look at it. And you got this sort of operation here with the 2 and the 5x. So there's two things to undo. Now, what have we been undoing before? Have we been dividing first? No. What have we been doing? Translating this other number first. Is that right? So you see how that's consistent? Okay. So then, what you have is negative 5x on the left equals a negative 8. Those did not move. The 2 on the left is now what? On the other side, and it's negative. You'll end up with a negative 5x is, what's negative 8 minus 2? What is it? Negative 10. Okay? So now this is just like, again, those other simpler problems that we reviewed. Okay, so what do you guys do now with this? Divide both sides by negative 5. Is that right? Cancel, cancel. X equals negative by negative is positive. 10 over 5 is 2. You're done. So x is the value 2. Let's check. What does it mean for x to be the value 2? Let's check. Go back.